Hi guys, welcome to the next episode of New in Society's Post Placement Talks with Shyanka. Today we have with us a very special person, Palak Singla, who's completed her computer science engineering from Lovely Professional University and is currently into ML or AI. Her journey has been really nice. That's what I personally feel. So we'll talk to her and understand her journey so far. Hi Palak,
Hi Priyanka,
how are you
it's
doing?
nice to meet you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm doing good.
Yeah. So how was your journey from computer science undergraduate engineering studies in 2017 to your first deep learning company in 2018? How was the journey? You were telling me about the struggles you went through and finally getting into the domain of your interest. So please let our viewers know about the entire journey.
Yeah, okay. During my bachelor's, I did multiple internships in IoT, Android, and Salesforce. But it never feel a kick or nothing like that. So after my degree concluded, I had many jobs from IT sectors, but I didn't want to pursue. I have a deep interest in AI, so I enrolled myself in Udacity Deep Learning Nano degree, which was very costly at that point of time. So for to being self-independent and self-funded for my nano degree, so I started a job in a in LPU as an assistant professor for quantitative aptitude for 6 months. So after completing my nano degree, I started my first job as Zentum Technology Private Limited.
Mm-hmm. How was the nano degree course? I've heard that a lot of people actually try to get into the course, but because the course is really expensive, they just don't do it. So, do you recommend that course really, even though it's that expensive?
Yeah, I really recommend that course because I went to a lot of platforms like Coursera, Udacity, and the Free Camp, Learn. There are a lot of platforms available online, but Udacity is best of them because they provide hands-on learning as compared to Coursera. Because Coursera is most focused on the theory-based things, but not on hands-on.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to AI, it's all about hands-on. That's how much you worked on. So
Hmm. So
Udacity
you'll
is the
get
best in this.
so you'll actually get to work on a lot of projects while you're doing the entire course, and that actually kind of boosts your confidence towards ML or AI.
Yeah, you have to complete all projects, and it is from scratch. So you have to submit all the projects and complete their passing criteria even to complete the Udacity Nano degree. Otherwise, they will not give you any Nano degree or something.
So you were able to complete the entire course within 5 to 6 months.
Yes.
That's really nice. Okay. So within Claim Genius, what are your roles and responsibilities, Palak?
Claim Genius is an artificial intelligence company where we are using state-of-the-art technology to make or simpler the insurance process for our customers. In, at Claim Genius, my role revolves around design and development of neural networks, especially convolutional neural networks. Typically, daily activities include contributing to the all phases of algorithm development process like ideation, prototyping, design and development, and production implementation.
That's amazing. Okay. So could you give us an insight about how the AI field is changing over the past few years from the industry perspective? Also, is the hype created about AI real?
Yeah, AI is the most active field in today's world. We see multiple new inventions or developments every single day. So in the past few years, a lot of things has been changed. As you can see, like GPT-3 in NLP field and AcquisitionNet in vision field. So there are a lot of algorithms available. Or in this year, we got GPT-3. So yeah. Like earlier you can't go for a reinforcement learning job in India,
Hmm.
but from last few years you can go, you can find, which was not possible. Yes, AI is a hype, you can say, and it is changes from time to time. It might get changed in next few years to blockchain or quantum computing. So yeah, it's a hype, but it will definitely change after some time.
Okay, that was really insightful. So when it comes to the concepts and tools, what are those concepts and the tools that an AI developer is expected to know before they start into that field?
Okay, yeah. In deep learning, basic algorithm or basic concepts you can say are the convolutional neural network and recurrent neural network. CNN and RN in the short form we can say that. So actual idea is you should know about it, what every layer means, or why you are using particular layer in the in your architecture. People you can go for either TensorFlow or PyTorch. It does not even matter,
Mhm.
but you should know at least single framework. So for ID, you can use Jupyter Notebook, which is very popular, or you can go with the VS Code, Sublime, Atom. So there are a lot of options in AI to go for it.
That's really nice. So, when people actually get started, this topic can be really, really helpful for them to basically steer them in the right direction because there are so many things available online. People get confused which one to use and they get started with the wrong tool, and it takes a lot of time to finally figure out which is the right tool for them to get started. So, I really hope
Yeah.
this part helps them a lot. And then when you're in the research field you actually make new models, but in the industry we use just the existing models. So where do AI engineers actually bring about a change?
So it depends upon the company you are in and what is their problem statement in. Like there are tons of algorithms and available in internet, but what is best for you, it depends upon the problem you're working on.
Mhm.
Some trade-offs like which are you consider the best, and it basically in the core it's all about hyperparameter tuning. So how much or how better can tune your parameters? That's it's all about.
But I think with the hyperparameters you have to constantly keep experimenting because there's no right hyperparameter. Anything that you try,
Yeah,
you will figure out new results altogether.
yeah. So it comes with experience also, like which learning rate to use, or how do we have a less loss, or how do we can increase accuracy. So it comes with experience, but it's all about tuning.
Uh-huh.
You will get to know. Yeah.
So, on a daily basis, you do a lot of hyperparameters tuning, or is it project based? Only for that particular project, you work on one particular, model, and then you keep tuning to find out the right hyperparameters.
Yeah, it was a project basis. Like in our company, we are assigned some project, and you have to do some hyperparameter tunings, and you have to suggest for some new architecture if you want to go with, and you can start with that architecture. It's all about mixed processes. That's what that AI profile concept you can say. Basically, in a startup. Yeah.
Okay, that's really, really nice. So, in order to enter into the job, should we know about the math behind every model or just how the entire thing works?
Um, According to me, yes, math is necessary. If you are able to make a three-layer neural network using the NumPy, for me that it will ensure me that you know forward and backward propagation. So that even for the recruiter, that will be enough for you. That will be enough that you know all these things and how it works.
Mhm.
So math is necessary.
Okay, that's cool. So, what was asked during the technical round with respect to AI? If you could share that, I think it will be really helpful for our juniors to start working towards it.
Yeah, okay. In technical round, technical recruiter just checks for how much basics of AI you know. When I said basics, I mean like what are the layers and how can you use it? What is the input to one layer and what is the output to your layer, and how to calculate the output shape for it. So it's a basic things you should know about deep learning or AI when you come into it, or when it comes to projects or something like this. So you should do or you should have at least single project in every domain. In domain is like one project in object detection, one in segmentation, one in for classification. So you should have at least single project to showcase on GitHub to recruiters that you have project and you have some knowledge about it.
Mm-hmm. So, would it be possible for people to, I mean, for the recruiters to get to know about us without the GitHub? Usually, it is just what we list down on the resume, but we've heard that a lot of recruiters now focus a lot towards what you have on your GitHub repo, and they even check how consistent you are, and not just having a data dump there, but you have to be consistent and you have to keep contributing towards the open source.
Yeah, it does matter. Like technical recruiters just go for the GitHub and LinkedIn profile too
Mm-hmm.
to understand like how the person is live and what are the posts they are consistently working on and what are the, if they are posting any posts about AI and on LinkedIn or not, if they are posting any new projects on GitHub and how regular are they.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they are making some forks or tweaks in some other repos also, like in they are making some changes to TensorFlow repo or
Mm-hmm.
they're contributing somebody else repo. So that matters a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, so
Yeah.
what kinds of projects could be done to stand out from the other applicants? Because there are so many people applying for ML. Everybody wants to get into ML, big data, IoT, and things like that. So, how do you stand out from the other applicants?
Yeah, for standing out, you have to do projects. Projects like I was reading about yesterday, it was a giving sound to a soundless movie. So you can do something amazing projects in AI. So now the eminence and other projects are old, so you have to move to something new. But try to focus that you should have at least single project for every domain. If
Mm-hmm.
like some people want object detection guys only or some want segmentation, you can show that I have worked on segmentation, so I
Mm-hmm.
can go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you should not focus on single domain, please go for every domain. Like there are 3 to 4 domains only, so
Mm-hmm.
it will be easy.
Okay. Uh, so finally, last last question, I swear. Are there any tips you want to give to our budding AI engineers?
Uh, yeah, I just want to say start with the basics. People just don't start with the basics. They jump start to the like how to do videos on YouTube. Basically, everyone do this. Uh, so I just want you to go with the basics, and then you can merge your how to do videos with the basics, and you can make something of your own with that combination.
Mm.
But don't forget basics.
Yeah, that's really important what you said. It's really important to get your foundation right before jumping into crazy technology out there. You have to be
Yeah,
strong with your basics. That's like a set point. There's no alternative to it.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so it was really, really nice talking to you. We got a lot of points, and I'm sure this will be helpful to all the ML aspirants out there. Also, thank you so much, Palak, for taking out your time and giving us this insightful talk.
Hopefully it will help them to move into right path
Mhm.
and just yeah, and thanks to you also to bring it up to the people.
Thank you. So, guys, we'll have a lot of such content. If possible, we'll have another webinar with Palak. Like all of you can join as well and ask your doubts directly to her. So, please like, share, and subscribe our video. Let's keep this growing. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye guys.